Okay, you guys and gals, what is up? The King Lightning is here today to do Toriko. La la. Suete no kansha ni kometen. Ha ha. Itadakimasu. Yeah. Boo, 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 boo. Alright, Torico chapter 298 review. If you haven't seen it yet, bam, in this corner right here is going to be the live reaction of the chapter. Go watch that, then get back to me for the review. Thing here is this though, this chapter is simple, but there are things I want to talk about. And the main thing I want to talk about is Pear. Because all of a sudden, now we found out that Pear is a part of Bambina's body, all of a sudden, there's a lot of theories, there's a lot of stuff going on, and there's a lot of debate about what Pear truly is, how that ties into Acacia, because remind you, or I should say mind you, that Acacia, when he was in his hut with his family, if you would, Midori, Trujiro, and Froze, thing here is that you had Blue Nitro surrounding them, and then he said, oh shit, Pear's here. So that means that would mean that according to that context, Pear is a Blue Nitro. So there are things we gotta talk about because it is fascinating. And there is one comment that I did say, I'm gonna read it to you, but I'll get to that later. Now, and when I say comment, I mean comment in the live reaction. I skimmed through the comment section, and one comment did stick out to me. So let me just continue on with other stuff in the chapter before I get to that. I'll save the Pear stuff for last. So, first of all, we have a situation where because they only have so many of these artificial organs, they have a week's time to get Pear to save Komatsu. So there's a time limit. And mind you, they're going to transverse an area that is greater than planet Earth in a week. And this is Monkey King territory. Not just Monkey Kings, but also the Ape Masters. And oh, Big Man just... He's waiting. He's fucking waiting. And I'm telling you, like, when he gives the signal, all of a sudden, Gorilla's in the mist. Like, oh shit, we coming, we here, dog. Ambush. It's gonna be very treacherous. It's gonna be very hard. Because you had Toriko and company struggling with newcomers. 600 level caps level, who could spike to even higher levels, and who knew various styles of kung fu, of Enbu. And that doesn't even include the Dons, or the assistant masters, or the masters, or Bambina himself. So it's going to be a very long and tough journey, that's very obvious. Now, the best part here, obviously, is that they're not like going this, they're not separated, and they're going different paths to Bambina. They're all going as a unit, I would assume. They're going as a unit. And it looks like, as a unit, they're going to be far more successful as opposed to as just individual groups. You know, let me just put this fork down. Let me just rock the knife. Yeah. So, that's what's going to benefit them in this case. Where not only are they powered up because they ate air, but also they're going to be a unit. A lot different than the Heracles situation, obviously. Now, when it comes to Kaka, which her name could be a better name, but they said, no, we're gonna give her the name Kaka. Yeah, fucking ridiculous. I mean, her name literally means fecal matter, which is not a good name. It's not a name you want. If don't name your kids Kaka, please don't do it. But thing here is this though, you got another taste sage or taste hermit, whatever they want to call themselves. It depends on the translation. Thing here is that I equate them with the human version that is the national treasures. But what I did find fascinating upon further rereading is that when she was talking about the red nitro and the blue nitro and their story and their civilization, wherein which in essence it is a refugee camp for those who are against the blue nitro, and they themselves were taken out at some point by something we're not too sure. Thing here is that she doesn't refer to herself as a red nitro, nor does she refer to herself as a blue nitro. So what nitro is she? I mean, based on appearance, I'd go with white. But then again, it's a manga. She could be like yellow. There are other denominations of nitro that exist. Not denominations. There are other races, other subspecies of nitro that exist. But we don't know much about them. We know a lot about the blue nitro, and more so about the red nitro. But there are probably others that exist that are probably in between, if you would, the slaves that are the red nitro and the masters that are the blue nitro. So I'm curious to see where she fits on that list, including Chi-Chi as well. So that is something I want to find out more about, obviously. And also her standing in the, if you would, the nitro world before she went into whatever, fuck it, into her hibernating state. And how the other taste sages, they are the ones who wrote the murals. Now, that's fascinating in a lot of ways, because that means that the taste hermits, they were highly regarded among other nitro. And odds are, she knows this other way of curing pair from Bambina because she is a taste hermit, and because she has probably done this before with Bambina. So Bambina may actually know who she is. It's very possible. But at the same time, take into account that A, we don't know how long she's been around for, and B, the same thing goes for Bambina. We have no idea how his reign, like, because Heracles, we know, like 10,000, Treacherous, fucking yeah, 10,000 plus years undefeated, one king, yeah. And Heracles has been around for thousands of years too. So, again, the point here is, it varies. We're not too sure. Now, moving on. When it comes to 100G, Mountain. This is going to be one of the hardest adventures of Toriko's and company's life. That's obvious. First of all, understand that 100G is a lot. Like, keep in mind that. Like, normally, if you're talking about basic physics here, and you have force equals mass times gravity, you have gravity, which is the acceleration due to Earth, and then that's going to be, what, like 9.81? So, you know, it's a lot for us, obviously. That's what we're used to. But 100 times that is 981. Are you kidding me? What the fuck? So, in essence, that would probably make like 1 metric ton into like 100 metric tons. Dog. The fuck? Now, granted, it's not really like a lot in comparison to what Toriko and folk have lifted and punched and so on and so forth. But we're talking about on every like square inch of your body. That's a lot of shit, man. That's a lot of gravity. So, the effects of 100G are going to be huge on not only Toriko and company, but also on Komatsu, because Komatsu, he needs to be taken care of. Furthermore, Bambina lives there. This is his, like, hunting grounds. Like, this is where he chill. Honestly, I bet you that even the other masters probably chill there, too, sometimes, on occasion. Like, when they need to inform Bambina, they have to go up to 100G Mountain and tell Bambina. And there's no oxygen there, too. So I do want to make a clarification. In the live reaction, I did state that this is like some Heracles shit. No, and Heracles makes a full-on vacuum. Like, all air is taken, no air pressure. It's a full-on vacuum, dog. But no oxygen is different. There's still, like, nitrogen and carbon dioxide. But it's still going to be tough because the gourmet cells have to adapt to that environment. And even in the standard of the gourmet world, it's a very treacherous place. And this is where Bambina chills on a regular basis. Like, yo, come to my house. You know this shit's popping. 100G popping, son. Like, yo, like, we doing this shit crazy up in this bitch, man. We got all types of good stuff. Yo. So, I mean, damn, dude. Like, Bambina's crazy. And then when you look at the pictures of Bambina, him compared, every time we see him, like, as a silhouette, in comparison to the top of the mountain, he's fucking huge. He's huge. So, it may be the case because it is still a silhouette. There's still a veil on the true stature of Bambina. But if he is what the silhouettes dictate, just like he's a big motherfucker, son. He's not like human size or a little bit bigger. He's a big, huge motherfucker. So we have to wait and see about that as well. Now, aside from that, the main thing here is Pear. This is where all the topic and debate is coming from. And there was actually a comment that was stated by someone. I have it saved. It is stated by, because I did skim through the live reaction comments, obviously. It was stated by Remix King. So I'm reading this shit to you real quick. In chapter 251 and 252, Pear told Acacia that the Four Beasts is going to become active and that the eclipse will occur. So that means that if Pear is Bambina, then obviously Bambina is fully aware of the eclipse. Moving on. And at the end of the chapter 252, Acacia said Pear has arrived. Then you see a bunch of blue nitro. Since Pear is a part of Bambina and monkeys are highly intelligent in this continent, it is safe to assume that Pear is Bambina, and he has very close ties with Acacia and Blue Nitro. However, if we assume that Bambina is evil, Bambina may be working for the Blue Nitro and had gotten help from them to cause the monkey rebellion and take over the continent. If Bambina is good, he may have worked with Acacia and they both betrayed the Blue Nitro, which is why they have such close ties. And Bambina rebelled by force to take over the continent from the Blue Nitro. However, this completely changes if we assume Acacia... Yeah, well, hold on. Let me backpedal. This completely changes if we assume Acacia was evil instead of good. Either way, this is a wonderful storytelling. This is wonderful storytelling by Mitsutoshi. Gotta give props to him. So the thing here is this. I like that comment because that comment does spur a lot of debate. I mean, you see people in the comment section of the live reaction talk about Pear and how, well, first of all, the initial comment is obviously, oh, Pear, monkey balls, yeah. I mean, listen, man. I find it a little bit odd where Torico has to take out a fork and knife for monkey balls, for monkey nuts. Literally. It's not really a delicacy. Like, I don't want to stick a fork in monkey balls. Come on, man. Nah, y'all tripping. We're not going to have monkey nuts as a delicacy. No, fuck no. Absolutely not. I highly doubt it. If that's the case, then that's some, like, no. Like, that's just too much, son. It's too much. But, to respond to that comment, and many others on the same line of that comment, of Remix King, here's what I think. So we now know that Pear is a part of Bambina's body. Thing here is that we're assuming, number one, that when it comes to Bambina, Pear was always a part of his body. You see, let's assume for a second that Pear wasn't initially a part of his body, but it belonged to a Blue Nitro. And then when the Blue Nitro had control of the continent, and they were the ones who were in power, the civilization that spurred as a means of like refugees and other species and subspecies of a Nitro thing here is that we could say that when Bambina take over, Bambina actually beat a Blue Nitro and took Pear from him. And therefore, Pear became part of his body as well. It's very possible. Number two is that if we do assume that Pear has been a part of Bambina's body for a long period of time, and he was working with the Blue Nitro, who's to say that these Blue Nitro are the same Blue Nitro as the ones we see with Joa? If we assume that there are different groups that make up Blue Nitro, or, for example, these Blue Nitro that we see with Joa or Joe, they're not the only Blue Nitro that exists within the world, within the universe, within the galaxy, whatever. So that's also very possible as well. Furthermore, Whether or not Acacia is evil or not, again, no one truly knows. But the thing here is that Acacia and the Blue Nitro that may be good, and Bambina, who even though he's considered the bad boy of the 8 Kings, may be someone who is actually well mannered, and he is someone who is actually not well mannered, but he may be a good creature per se, because he's helped maintain balance in the continent. You see, whether or not Kaka is evil or not, no one's too sure. And the same thing applies to the uprising of the monkeys. You see, who's to say that Bambina was the one who led the uprising of the monkeys? The apes may have actually they may have created this rebellion on their own terms. For some reason we don't know. Again, there's a lot of mystery and, veil stuff going on here. But I got a funny feeling that Bambina may have actually taken Pear originally from a Blue Nitro. Because when you look at the silhouettes of the Blue Nitro that surround the house when Acacia is talking to Midora and Ichiru and all them, you don't see a giant monkey. You don't see a monkey, period. So, now there's also a theory that maybe Bambina is a Blue Nitro, and his outer form is a monkey, and he has something very similar to a GT robot suit, which I find very hard to believe. Very hard to believe. So, my point here is that I'm pretty sure that not all Blue Nitro are actually on the side of the ones that we see today. They're probably a different group within the Blue Nitro themselves. So it's very possible. Now, the last thing I'll talk about here is the fact that when it comes to attaining Pear, which is a part of Bambina's body, whether or not they're going to do so by force or convincing Bambina, we're not too sure. But at the same time, consider this. Where does the birth cry or the first cry tree fit into all this shit? Think about it. When Ichiru and the boys went into Area 7 from the first biotype, they went to the birth cry tree or the first cry tree, whatever it's called, depends on the translation. So why not go to 100G Mountain? There's something up with the birth or the first cry tree that we don't know. But I got a feeling that attaining Pear may actually... Because if we assume that Pear is a Blue Nitro, the Blue Nitro may still in fact be there on Area 7, but it's in the birth cry tree. And then in order to actually first get to before you can actually attain Pear, you must first get something that is a part of Bambina's body, like some type of key or some type of secretion, whatever. Not feces, hopefully not feces, whatever. But you may need something from Bambina's body to actually get a key, if you would, to go to the birth cry tree. Because I found that pretty odd. Bambina, who lies in the mountain beyond the birth cry tree on 100G Mountain, he has Pear, quote unquote. But yet, it would be weird in that sense, because why didn't Ichiru and the others go there? Instead, they went to the birth cry tree. So the birth cry tree may actually still have a huge role in this. In fact, it may be one of the key things here may actually be trying to get Bambina from 100G Mountain to the birth cry tree. And by force is highly unlikely given his power, so odds are they need to convince him to go to the birth cry tree to get Pear for them, some shit like that. So, not too sure. There's still a lot of stuff going on. A lot of theories, a lot of debating, but that's good. Because it keeps you forever immersed into what is going on within the story. So, I'm curious to see how things are going to roll out. And I got my own theories, you guys have your own theories as well. But I'm going to assume that for now, it is more or less that Pear originally did not belong to Monkey King Bambina, and he attained pair when he took over the continent, which was already in chaos when the monkeys initially started their rebellions on their own terms. He just hopped in the fucking frame and took the shit over. Though, what I will say is that you have Kaka. She was going to say something, but Komatsu had a seizure in the midst of that, so we didn't find out much about that. So, overall, I'm done. King of Lightning, I'll see you guys later. They have a week to do this, and there's still a lot of mystery, but I am done. King of Lightning, rate the video, comment, subscribe. Peace. Chaptering overall is going to be great. Have a nice day. One last thing. When it comes to a method to attain pair, it actually may be similar to what happened with the Melancholia, where you have to attack you have to hit Bambina in like certain spots, and then he will like give you pair. It may be something like that as well. So again, there's a lot of things we don't know, but we're gonna find out obviously at some point in the future. So, you know, like one of those special preparation, or not preparation, but special attaining methods to actually get pair. And then probably after that, special preparation to actually cook pair. Something like that. So I'll see you guys later. Have a nice one.